Hello, my name is Alexis Scott, and this is the Alexis Scott Studio podcast. I'm so excited to do this. I've been waiting, not waiting, but I've been trying to decide how I wanted to jump in and share my thoughts and, share more of my journey with you guys. But this, I think, is the best way. So I'm starting a podcast, as you can see. So, like I said, my name is Alexis Scott, and I am a professional service and UX designer, and as I've named myself, a curious creator. This podcast is all about design, creativity, and the expression of that creativity. And as I continue to learn, I hope to share and learn and share and learn. And also share my experiences and things that I've experienced in the past in terms of getting to my career and also just what it's like being a service and UX designer. Um, I am from Charleston, South Carolina. Shout out to Charleston, shout out to Chucktown, 843, all of that. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration with a double concentration in marketing and retail management from the Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to the Golden Bulls. I'm a Smithite through and through. Love my HBCU. Love Charlotte. Um, I also have a master's in design management from the Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. And I've been designing professionally in the health tech space for 2 years officially. I just had my 2 year work anniversary. And I have learned and grown so much in this role. So I'm really excited to kind of share different things about that, but also just like general creativity, like, being able to express yourself in creative ways that may not be in a professional sense or something like that, but maybe just a way to express yourself personally. Maybe you make something for your friends or your family members or something like that. But I want to be on that journey with you and kind of just talk about what creativity means to me and what it can hopefully mean to you in the future. So for me, my creativity has always been a really big part of my life and a huge like motivating factor. I was always the child that was consistently asking for art sets, paint sets, special pencils and crayons, and I was obsessed with the pastels. I mean, the pastels. No, but for real. And I honestly just was really invested in arts and crafts. Like, I was the kid who was drawing on the walls, the laundry basket. My mom bought like, and dad bought like a refrigerator or a washing machine, and I spent like a week in that box because it was so many possibilities. I was like, SpongeBob and Patrick on the one episode when they're like in the box and having the best time of their life, and Squidward was hating because he didn't have the imagination. That's what that's the child that I was, and now I'm that adult still. So it's very interesting, but it wasn't until college that I really got into the digital space of art. I started designing flyers for different events that were happening on campus because I was a part of the student activities committee. Shout out to Jabac, Golden Bulls. I'm telling y'all, I love my HBCU. So shout out to Jabac. I was designing flyers for Jabac events, the Golden Bulls Activities Committee, and that was really my first experience in digital design, graphic design, and that then pushed me to intern for the university's marketing and communications department, which was also a really good experience. That was my first official internship where I was literally just kind of, doing whatever they asked me to do. But I learned so much right there on campus from marketing professionals, learning how to really lay out flyers and like understanding all the background things that were going on in terms of marketing and communications for the university. Um, and then after finishing undergrad and looking for work in marketing, I was like, this is not working. It wasn't working for me. I wasn't getting the jobs and stuff like that. So I decided to go back to school and get my master's degree. And originally, I was going to get a master's, like an MBA. And I enrolled in the school and all of that, and I am a college dropout because I dropped out because it just wasn't doing what I needed it to do for me. Like I knew that I needed something a little more. Then I heard about SCAD. I'd never heard about SCAD before this. And so I like saw it on a bumper sticker and I was like, what is SCAD? And so I looked it up at the light and I was like, oh, it's a university. And that's how I found out about SCAD. I looked it up, went and applied, or did I go on the tour first? Either way, I applied, I got in, went on a tour, and I was like, oh, is this is where I'm supposed to be. My mom even was like, this is the most perfect place for you. Like this is amazing. And so went there, went to SCAD, great experience. Um, and I thrived at SCAD so much in a way that I wasn't necessarily expecting myself to. When I first got there, I was shook because everyone was so talented and so creative. And it was just like in the way they dressed and in the way they spoke and acted and all of that. And I just was like, I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. So I started to kind of question my decision in terms of actually going to SCAD. But then after I kind of took my time, I probably cried on the phone with my mom a couple times and I finally just stuck it through. And once I really settled in, I really began to thrive and enjoy myself in this very specific academic place. And that made a world of a difference in terms of what I was looking to do in my career. And it really helped me to make more serious decisions about my career. And now that I've been designing professionally for the last 2 years, um, it's really interesting because I'm able to kind of take into account the creativity that I've built up over the years from my childhood. And I'm able to really have that mindset even at work of just like, I want to jump in and try something new. I'm not going to try and figure it out or like do this like specific hard way, but I want to do something that is creative. I'm going to put my own spin on it, and it's really valued in this space because that's kind of the point. Everyone wants to be innovative, everybody wants to be creative, everybody wants to push it to the next level. And so that's why having a creative career is just like the perfect idea or the perfect thing for me to have. And so that has brought me to this point where I am ready to jump in and, you know, share my journey, share my experiences, share things that I'm learning, things that I'm doing. I am one of those people who's just like doing random things. And those random things are so fun. And that's why I'm making this podcast. So last year, no, it wasn't last year. It was the beginning of this year. So in January of 2023, I started tufting and making rugs, and that has been going pretty well. I haven't made a rug in a minute, but we're gonna get back there. I'm going to be showing you guys some of that on this podcast. But I've learned to crochet. I've learned to sew. I just started sewing like literally this week. So that's exciting. But that's why I call myself a curious creator, because I have this curiosity to just learn something new, try something new, and see how I can, put my own spin on it, or just do whatever I think is the best. Like, I started sewing and I started making a bucket hat, but I did not print out a pattern. So there is some chaos here, but that is why this is going to be an interesting listen or view. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to jump in and do this podcast and talk about creativity, talk about how simple creativity can be. I know that people sometimes, it seems like such a difficult, or um like, oh, you have to be like a painter, or you have to do it so well, or like, if you're not creative now, you can't be creative in the future. And I don't believe any of that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm excited to share this journey with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys soon for episode 2. Thanks, guys.